After months of researching and looking, we finally picked the perfect first aid kit.
Perfect for us, for our needs.
Yep, this is a vehicle-based kit designed and stocked for remote backcountry travel, like what we do.
We're going to show you what's in it, what everything is used for, and why we chose it.
As we get further away from civilization and emergency medical services, our need to be self-reliant grows exponentially.
Ooh, big word, exponentially.
The national average emergency response time, how fast an EMT or ambulance can get to you, is around 15 to 30 minutes. On our adventures, we're quite often 3 or more hours away from medical help. Remote travelers need a first aid kit that will treat a patient for a longer period of time and more thoroughly.
This kit is much more than what's often called a boo-boo kit like this. This is great to have. It has band-aids, tweezers, things to treat small cuts and abrasions and the like. This is more of a trauma kit designed to treat broken bones, major bleeding, and life-threatening injuries. But it still has everything in here in it too. We like the idea of a hard shell case. Since it's vehicle-based and won't be carried long distances, there's really no need for a shoulder strap. The hard shell waterproof case will also protect the contents from being damaged.
There is a lot of stuff in here. It is packed full. Now there are some things in here that may appear to be intimidating, like they require extensive training to use. But that's not the case at all. If there's anything in here that you're not familiar with, there's plenty of online support that will explain to you what it is and what it's used for. This is a kit that you won't outgrow. And this all came out of here. We have a roll of waterproof adhesive tape, a burn dressing. This has a gel in it that will cool the burn and prevent further damage. Yeah, remember when you tried to get that pan out of the fire with no glove on? We could have used this then, huh, Mary? We have an assortment of sizes of gauze pads, 2x2, 3x3, 4x4, an assortment of rolled gauze, a couple of 5x9 abdominal pads. These are really big, super absorbent, a large assortment of elastic band-aids for fingertips, knuckles, large fingertips, and the usual strips. A big box of butterfly closures. We used a bunch of these on Mary's toe when she split it open. Remember that? And some iPads. Not confused with an Apple iPad. These are actual iPads. A tourniquet. Definitely something we need to do a little research on to find out when and how to use it. Here are a couple of chest seals. This is another thing that we're going to have to research. Emergency trauma dressing. This is for quick deployment over a large wound. This is S-rolled gauze. I've never heard of this before. I think it's kind of like a Kleenex box where you grab it and it pulls out in one long continuous string. I don't know. We'll look into this too. A moldable splint or a SAM splint. Since this one is still in the package and unmolested, I'll show you our old one here. We used this to immobilize Mary's wrist once when we thought that she had broke it. But it's moldable, as you can see. There's a piece of metal or probably aluminum inside there. And antiseptic wipes, hand sanitizer. In this little package we have antibiotics. What else we got? Hydrocortisone cream. I think that's for itching. And here's these little vials are Soothe-A-Sting swabs. Mary got stung by a bee once and it swelled up terrible. We could have used that then. Remember that? And a couple of packs of sunscreen for some reason. I don't know why that's it. Maybe if somebody has a cut on their head and you have to shave all the hair off, maybe that's to prevent sunburn. I don't know. Here's a basic first aid book. This is actually a pretty good one. something to read through and keep in here. We have a rescue blanket. These are surprisingly warm, and they can be used to keep a patient dry if it's raining, or you can lay it out to form a nice clean surface to lay your stuff out on. Some medical gloves, a triangular bandage. This has a lot of uses to it. It can be used as a sling. It can be used to tie a splint on. A rescue whistle. This is a great idea to have. I've never really even thought about putting a whistle in the first aid kit, but this is a good idea. Trauma shears for cutting clothes off, obviously. It has this little thing here so you don't actually cut a person's skin. Some tweezers for whatever, getting ticks off or splinters. And a CPR shield, a mouth shield. Some masks and a glow stick to mark your location if somebody's looking for you. In the dark, obviously. And this is our medicine organizer that comes with the kit. Let's see, it has a list of the stuff we have in here. In the number 1 pouch, and we have them in little pouches here, numbered. That's aspirin. Number 2 is Cetapin, or Tylenol. Detramine, I wish Mary was reading these. Diotame, for diarrhea and heartburn, upset stomach. Exaprin, extra strength pain reliever. Histoprin for allergic reactions. Ibuprofen for chest pain and mild pain relief. Number 7 is Medilite electro tabs. That we could have used for Mary. She almost died of dehydration and heat exhaustion in Moab once on a long hike. Remember that one? We could have used these. Do you all see a pattern here? MECILZINE is for nausea and vomiting. Instant glucose, that's for low blood sugar. Good thing to have. And also, it's a good idea to put a small pad of paper and a pencil in here, just so you can make a list of things that you take out and use. Because there's nothing worse than getting into a kit and realizing that you did not replenish what you took out the time before, and now you don't have it. A first aid kit is like a set of tools. If you don't know how to use them or which one works best for the job at hand, it's going to be difficult to fix the problem. We highly recommend taking a wilderness first aid class or an accredited online class. And of course, targeted YouTube tutorials on, say, the tourniquet and these chest seal things. It's also important to have the first aid kit totally accessible within arm's reach of the driver and mounted with some sort of quick release mechanism. Outer Limit Supply has this optional quick release mechanism that you can bolt onto the back, and it's still waterproof. This you can bolt on just about anywhere. We have ours mounted on a seat back MOLLE panel from Grayman Tactical. To release it, you simply just pull up on the loop, it comes right off. To put it back on, just align these slots with the tabs, it snaps right back in place. And that's not going anywhere. Of course, this is crucial in an emergency, but it's even more handy in normal situations.
This first aid kit was such a hassle getting off the MOLLE panel. I'll just throw it in the back and put it where it needs to go later.
Later never comes.
I have this nasty cut on my hand, but the first aid kit is buried in the back underneath everything. So I'll just wrap it in this McDonald's napkin and call it good.
Something to keep in mind. Not everybody that comes out on a trip or a trail run is as well prepared. We think it's important to let people know where our first aid kit and our fire extinguishers are located in our vehicles. Just in case, for whatever reason, we're not around and they need to get to it.
Hopefully, all we'll ever have to use out of it is some Band-Aids and aspirin.
But if a more serious situation does arise, we know we're prepared. Not just in here, but in here too.
And that's a good feeling to have.
Wait.
We finally picked the perfect first aid kit.
Oh, God damn it.
Yep. sure enough, what the hell do I say next?
Yep, this is a vehicle-based.
Got it. Yep, this is a vehicle-based. I gotta run through this more.
First aid kit.
Yep, this is a vehicle-based
First aid kit.
emergency bug.
Lots of bugs.
The national average emergency response time, that's a mouthful right there. Man, I know I screwed that one up. Okay, but if a more serious situation arises, we know, what do we know? We're prepared. We just can't remember our lines.
Perfect for us, for our needs. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Well, yours wasn't that great either.
If this is your first time watching one of our videos and you'd like to see more, hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to ring the bell if you want to be notified.